How separate are church and state? That's the question the new political docuseries The Family tries to answer. The Family is a conservative Christian group that for decades used its proximity to power to influence policy. It hosts small bipartisan prayer groups and has put on the National Prayer Breakfast since 1953. The Family also is known as The Fellowship and remains secretive by design. Journalist Jeff Sharlet, the author of 2 books about the organization, The Family and C Street, served as one of the series' executive producers. He also lived with the group at its headquarters in Arlington, Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C.
In my 20s, I stumbled my way in. And what I found is a secretive Christian organization called The Family that had been hiding in plain sight for over 80 years. There were congressmen, senators, world leaders.
Jeff Sharlet, it's so nice to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Soledad. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So give me a description of what The Family really is. In a broad strokes, it sounds like it's a bunch of committed Christians who believe in prayer groups.
One of the oddest things about them is they actually reject the label Christian. They see themselves as transcending all religion and their idea of Jesus as trumping any other faith. It's the oldest, the most influential, and oddly, it's in many ways the most secretive Christian conservative group in Washington. Goes all the way back to the 1930s and Franklin Roosevelt when they organized as an anti-labor movement to oppose Roosevelt's New Deal. And in the present day, they seek to exert influence, as they put it, sort of behind the scenes. That's their terms. The longtime leader of the group, a man named Doug Coe, says the more invisible you can make your organization, the more influence it will have, which is true, which is why we have lobbying and disclosure laws, which over the years they have managed to evade.
So is it about their religion, or is it about just amassing power for purposes that are outside of religion?
You know, I almost just sort of want to say yes to both of those things. Their religion is sort of distinct. It's not the kind of evangelicalism that most people would be familiar with in their churches. Doug Coe, and trying to explain how he understands who Jesus is. He says, to understand Jesus, you don't speak of, a lion or a lamb, those metaphors that you'll encounter in church. He says, you look at the strong men of history. He says, look at, and I'm quoting here, Hitler, Lenin, Mao. And the common denominator of these monsters, fascists and communists, Coe is neither. The common denominator is strength, whereas most people look at Jesus believers and see a message of love. They see a message of strength and power.
Well, it seems like they'll embrace a flawed person. Just being a flawed person kind of allows you an opportunity to repent and come back from being flawed. Is there something else behind that?
It's power. I mean, this is the model they've been looking at for years. They don't care if you're a Christian. In the series, we look at some of the other figures that they've worked with overseas, which is really where they focused for a long time. They believe that if you're in power, it's because God chose to put you in power. They like to say, we work with power where we can, build new power where we can't. And they also have this idea, they say, look, everyone's concentrating on Jesus came for the sheep. What about the wolves? And they say, we're here for the wolves, and in fact, we're interested in the most powerful wolf. And they have this parable. I mean, it sounds like a fairy tale. They say, we seek out the wolf king. Trump is their wolf king. He is, as they put it, an imperfect vessel, or sometimes as they describe him, as a God-shaped man. Not shaped like God, but obviously being used by God to achieve ends that they think are valuable. And they see this as a long-term project. They're not interested in the immediate public limelight. There's ways in which they can seem moderate because they're willing to work over this long period. Do
you think that your work and others have undermined the power of the family at this point, or no?
I don't want to take too much credit for that. I'll say one thing. The movement's much larger than any journalist can sort of even grasp. Here's an organization that has embraced their terms and visibility. They sometimes like to call themselves a Christian mafia. Their own internal documents are stuffed with talking about ways in which to keep their work secret. the biggest thing we can do is say, let's make it visible. And then I think in the Netflix series, actually, what we were able to do was we were able to get a lot of these guys to sit on camera and talk about what they're doing for the first time. We gave them their say. They're allowed to explain why they think it's appropriate in a democracy for political figures to be meeting and pursuing a mixture of church and state beyond the public eye, or beyond, as they put it, they have this sort of pretentious little bit of Latin, beyond the din of the vox populi, which means beyond the voice of the people. That's not democracy.
Jeff Sharlet, the docuseries, it's amazing. It's a 5-parter on Netflix right now, and then, of course, based on your 2 books. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Saudette.